Welcome back. In 2010, just 4 years ago, Christina Perri was working as a waitress in Los Angeles, struggling to carve out a career in music.
Then her song, Jar of Hearts, was used on an American TV talent show and became her breakthrough hit. Since then, her music's been featured in the Twilight films, and her debut album has sold 7 million copies.
Well, now she's about to release her second album, much of which recorded here in the UK. We'll speak to Christina in a moment. Good morning to you.
Welcome.
First, here is the one that we're going to. First single from the album. That's very nice. Good morning, Christina.
Thank you.
So the second album, the first album you sort of pretty much fell into, really, because it dragged you along with the success of the song Jar of Hearts. This time, a lot more time to think and compose. Also, perhaps more time to worry. They always talk about second album syndrome. Did that cross your mind at all?
You know, it didn't until everyone kept telling me about it. But I feel like the solution to that is telling the truth. I feel like if I had worried about doing something, you know, so that people would like it, or if I had thought about the pressure, that I probably couldn't have written. You know, I'm just a teeny little creative person, and I get scared if and so I don't know how to write when I'm afraid, and so I had to like trick myself and not think about it, and then I got to, you know, have the time to write and not freak out, and it was a good thing.
You've done lots of writing or recording here in the UK, haven't you?
Yeah, this is my British album. I spent all summer here. It was super hot and amazing. We had a little paddling pool because we recorded in an English garden and down in Bagshot, which is in Surrey. And I called my hotel the Harry Potter Hotel because it was about 7,000 years old and I had no internet. And it was great. I was in a little English bubble and it was wonderful.
You can pretty much record anywhere these days, can't you?
Yes, that's true. Yeah.
And so when you run into Ed Sheeran,
which you do.
Yeah, which you do all the time. Then you say, oh, well, let's just nip in here and record something. How did it was a bit more formal than that, but how did it work out?
No, it was kind of like that. Yeah, I mean, we're buddies, so we do run into each other. And the person that I recorded most of my album with is this guy named Jake Gosling, and he did Ed's album. So Ed came to the studio to just hang out, and I was like, do you want to sing on this? And he's like, okay.
While you're here, write something for me.
Yeah, no, well, luckily it was written, but we just happened to be recording that song that day. So it was pretty fateful how it worked out. And he said, okay, I'll do it. And then he just sang, and we had a party, and we're laughing and screaming, and it's all on the song. It's called Be My Forever. And it happened organically. We didn't tell our label, nothing, we just did it.
That's brilliant. And that will come out as a single, will it, at some point? It's a much happier song than some of the others.
It's the happiest song I've ever written. Yeah, I almost have to apologize sometimes because I didn't even think I could write it. So it was pretty awesome as a songwriter. I pushed a couple boundaries and I tried to write when I was happy. And when I fell in love, I remember thinking, oh, this is awful. This is so inconvenient. And I was dared by another British guy named Jamie Scott, and he said, I dare you to write while you're happy. And I was like, do you not know me? This is just not how I roll.
Let's go from happy to sad.
Yeah.
And the sad song, which had a happy outcome because it made you very famous, here's Jar of Hearts.
And who do you think you are?
Listening to that song, I wonder. But you
and boys.
And boys, maybe.
And boys, But that drew you from being a waitress trying to make ends meet in Los Angeles into a star through a remarkable connection, really.
Yes. Well, it was sort of like Cinderella because I was working as a waitress and up until June 29th of 2010, and then my song was sent to the choreographer on that show by my best friend, who I asked not to show anyone the song. I just sent it to her like a best friend would, and so she immediately emailed it to the choreographer and said, maybe one day you can play this on your show. And Stacy said, how about Wednesday? And so we had about 4 days to prepare, putting it up on iTunes and like making a record label, you know, and all this stuff. And then at 8 p.m. on June 30th, 2010, my whole life changed.
So you sang the song?
No, they played the song.
Oh, they played it?
And they danced to it. And I was sitting in the audience like, oh, this is cool. And I thought like maybe my mom would buy it. I think it was 220,000 people bought the song.
Right.
Gosh.
And I was just... Right.
Now, you're immaculately turned up, but I can't help noticing, Christine, that you have 1 or 2 tattoos. I'm going to ask you because you've got a lovely thing here on your. Can we see that on your finger? That's my
British crown.
Yeah.
But you have tattoos there between your fingers. It says powerless.
Yeah.
Are you hang on, just go around there. There, just show the camera, just bend your finger. There, it says powerless.
Okay,
Why?
yeah.
Are you powerless, or what is that?
Well, I like to think that I'm not, you know, in full of the power. I like to kind of exist in a way.
Doesn't it hurt when you have it done?
Yes,
on
it
the
hurts very bad.
Then why put them there?
And then
No.
and then bitten, of course, because of the Twilight. I mean, you were a Twilight fan before you did the song.
I had to hide this tattoo when I was hanging out with the cast members.
Did
It
you?
was so embarrassing. I was like, don't mind me.
Just a mere 70 then altogether.
Just 70-ish, yeah.
Okay. All right.
Goodness me.
Well, we wish you all the very best with the new
you.
album. Thanks very much
Thanks
for stopping
Thank you very
having
much
me.
for coming to see us.
Thank you.
Christina's new single, Human, is released on Monday. Her album, Head or Heart, is out at the end of the month. Lovely to see you.
That is it from us this morning. Breakfast will be back from 6 tomorrow. Charlie will be here on the sofa
And
next
myself
week.
as well.
Tomorrow, and he's here all next week too.
He is, isn't he? Bye-bye. We shall see you soon.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.